Three. What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Blacktop Podcast. Let me lower that a bit so you can actually see my face. We're back, y'all. The team is full, just like last week, and hopefully we can continue with that. That being said, here's a little rundown on what's going to happen. First off, we're going to do what a lot of people are doing. We're going to overreact to the Summer League because, let's face it, I like the way JJ Redick worded it today in some of the broadcasts. He was saying these guys are competing to be the janitor when some of them think they're being the CEO. I think that's that's a very, I think, realistic way of looking at it. Because to be honest, you know, I think you're not really looking for the people who are going ISO heavy and being able to give people 30 balls off of like 20 isolation possessions or whatever that may be. You want to look for things that are more kind of translatable to the actual game and the role they might play. But that being said, after that, we're going to start into some unprecedented territory. It's something that we haven't done on the pod yet. But, or actually, no, we've done a small version, but we're going to go big this time. But you all will see that eventually. But regardless, boys, how we doing?
All good, man. I'm doing good. I'm getting my voice back a little bit because the
Oh,
last time we did
yeah.
the podcast, my voice was just straight up gone.
Cracked
But
out.
I'm solid now, dude. Recovering well from all the aches and sores from playing basketball all weekend, and I'm really excited to talk about basketball, man. Summer league has been fun so far, and all the news that's going on around the league too, with all the trade requests and all the talks, all that stuff. So it's been a good week of basketball, man. How about you, Chinny? How about you, Chin?
I'm good. I don't really have anything else to report. I'm good.
Good. Good. That's always good. Now, let's get right into it. So, for Summer League, I guess instead of kind of going all frantic and stuff, I'll break it down like this. Ruben, how have you enjoyed watching your team, aka the Raptors, as well as who's been a player you think has surprised you and a player that's well, okay, surprised in two ways. So either, either one being dogging people or two being, they're kind of like slouching. I'll pass it off to you.
So the Raptors are 1-1. Admittedly, I haven't watched the Raptors game against Chicago just today, so I do need to catch up on that. But I do know that Surprise, who's been dogging people, and I can't really say it's a surprise. I think it's more of like I'm really happy that Delano Banton really is out there looking like he's much better than everybody else on the court. And it's a little bit different when you have a guy who's got who's had a lot of NBA experience so far, at least in his rookie year. He spent a lot of time playing, so um, he's been great. Koloko kind of had a dud of a game today, but I mean that's to be expected considering how raw of a prospect he still is on the offensive end. But defensively, he looks great. That Doughton guy, I think that's his name, Doughton. He looks really good. Um, Nick Nurse spoke about him a little bit. Armani Brooks, we know that he can shoot the lights out, and he's been playing really well. I mean, to be honest, like there's not much that I really want to take away from the summer league other than seeing how good Christian Koloko looks on a pro level and seeing the level and how better Delano Banton is than everybody else on the floor. And Delano Banton does look like like an NBA prospect. He looks like an NBA player out there because I mean he's getting whatever he wants, and that's two straight games where it looks like at least on the box score that um, he's had his touch and he's been able to hit the three. He's been able to get to wherever he wants and create looks. So I mean, yeah, those are the things that stand out to me,
Do
at
you think
least
he
for the
cracks the
Raptors.
rotation this year, or do you think he's
I
still
hope
going to be
so.
mainly G?
Yeah, I think he'll crack the rotation. I still think he'll hit the G League every now and then because he is a second year player, and Toronto tends to love to throw their first, second, third year guys down to the G League, unless of course you're Scotty Barnes. Um, I wouldn't be surprised to see Delano in the rotation, considering the moves that they've made, right, and how much they're going for that 6'9" vision. And Nick Nurse, played Delano before Malachi Flynn and any other guard rotation at the start of this past season. So I wouldn't be surprised if he cracks the rotation and actually finds a solidified role for the rest of the year.
Bullets, I guess. Okay. Who've been some guys that have surprised you in regards to win?
For me or for Chin?
For you. And then we'll switch over to
Oh, like surprise in summer league overall or for Toronto?
overall.
Overall, Quentin Grimes. He's looked
Dog.
great. He's looked great for New York. Man, he looks so good. Him and that Sims boy jumps out the
Oh,
gym.
Jericho?
Jericho
Yeah.
Sims. Oh my goodness, that kid jumps out the gym. Um, Paolo Banchero, like how complete of a game he already has. That's shocking. And I was in the boat of you take Chet first or Jabari Smith first. I didn't think Paulo Banchero, sorry, would be taken first. Got taken first, and he looks like he's answering the call. I will say this: I'm a little bit pissed off at the fact that these teams are holding out their rookies, saying stuff like, "Oh, we've already seen enough," and that's why they've shut down Paulo Banchero. When, in all honesty, we should really be seeing these players get as many reps as they can in pro league games. So that's pissed me off a little bit, right? Chet Holmgren sat out like he's already had load management. Like these guys got to be playing these summer league games, man. It's kind of ridiculous at this point. These kids are 19 years old. Like I'm out here playing freaking four round robin games and then one semifinal and a finals game, and I feel that in my body at 26 years old. Like these 19-year olds can for sure jump out the gym and play one game after every 3 days. Like, come on, like that's freaking ridiculous. You know what I mean? So, um, these guys got to be playing and getting their reps. Sorry, I just had to add that in there. But yeah,
Oh,
Paulo
that's all
Banchero.
valid. Honestly,
Yeah,
hot take. I think Chet plays like 60-ish games, if just based off the fact that his body's not.
I can see that happening. I see that being the case too. I agree with that actually. So these guys should be getting as many reps as they can, especially in the summertime, because before you know it, they're in training camp. Before you know it, it's the start of the season. Before you know it, they're getting their welcome to the NBA moment, right? So, I mean, you got to prepare as much as you can.
What about you, Chin?
Honestly, man, it's hard for me to watch like summer league right now. It's just very low priority. But my boy Matt Ryan hit the buzzer beater. Oh well, this the zero point 0.5 seconds left on the clock. But I don't know. The Celtics are the type of team that have like quite indefinitely constructed their roster for being like playoff ready next year, and so I think whoever is playing in the G League right now, or not, sorry, the G League, the Summer League, is really just competing for those small minute spots at the moment. Like there's more kind of speculation around the fact of like who the Celtics should pick up right now. Talk about how like Aaron Baines is still a free agent and how he could fit into the rotation and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've seen like highlights here and there. Matt Ryan lighting it up, doing his thing. But I don't know. I've been kind of keeping up with the news. I mean, to kind of transition to the who surprised me most. I think someone that I'm sure has been talked about a lot already, but Kenny Lofton Jr. I think he's very like he's a workhorse. Like 6'7",
He's been so
two
good.
seventy
Well, he
five.
he fits he fits the Memphis.
Yeah, he's got a good like dog game, I think, and I mean, I could see him translate into being like a rotational player for anybody. Um, he definitely has like kind of that not a spark plug, but he's just like a workhorse. Like you can tell this guy knows how to like get his bucket, how he knows how to. He kind of plays a very like single minded game in a good way. Um, but yeah, I think he's kind of been the one surprise. And I mean, another one is Scottie Pippen Jr. And I think it's just the fact that the Lakers are actually like, you know, somehow managing to like recuperate like with no picks or no real picks this year. See Scottie Pippen Jr. actually like showing some glimpse of good play. I mean, props to Lakers, I guess. But yeah,
Or and Scottie Pippen Jr. For me, uh Yeah, the Matt Ryan thing was a little tough to swallow just because whole Celtics thing. Either way, for me, Summer League I think has been it's been enjoyable to watch. In regards to the Bucks, I think Marjon Beauchamp is looking really good. I like how they're not allowing him to handle the ball and really making him operate more off ball. We've seen him be pretty solid on the catch and shoot. I think he's 2 for 4 in the 2 games he's played so far. So 50% from the 3-point line. You love to see that. Not only that, uh, very good defender. Not only just in terms of keeping his man in front of him or whatever it may be, but he's got some decent block highlights so far. So love to see that. I think he definitely will be the sort of eighth, maybe seventh, not eighth or ninth man, just considering how deep the Bucks are in their bench already. But I think he definitely does make some rotational minutes. And the other guy, Mamu. I mean, I've loved Mamu since he came into the league. Second longest name in NBA history. That sort of unicorn. People were throwing around baby Jokic kind of things. I'm not gonna give that, even though I will take that. But seeing him be able to run the floor on some, and I can't even think of any big men who really do that besides maybe being able to grab the rebound, push it all the way up the floor, and get a nice easy layup. Now, obviously, he's not going to do that in the game, but to see. In regards to sort of surprises, I think my main one would be because I mean, I've been watching Summer League, but also it's kind of just one of those throw on in the background, you hear what you hear kind of thing for me sometimes. But Point and Grind is definitely up there. I think the guy I've enjoyed watching the most though is probably Jonathan Kuminga, and I think just the Warriors in general. Seeing the young guys hoop out. I mean, Moses Moody has been showing out. Kuminga's
Wiseman's
showing
been
out.
nice, eh?
Wiseman's been very nice. They just don't give him the ball though. I think he needs few more paint touches here and there. But seeing James Wiseman especially is nice to see because I think when you saw him in his first season, he looked very kind of stiff, very not such an imposing force. I think he has the ability to be. I think there's still bits of that there, but I think he's moving a lot better in the summer league so far. So what we've seen and seen him try to catch a few lobs. They were saying it on the broadcast, but Steph and just the Warriors in general have never really had a guy throughout their entire history as this core. They've had a guy who's been able to catch lobs and really be able to have somewhat of a post presence. They're very much small ball, live or die by that. But if James Wiseman is half the guy he was coming out of high school, I think it's gonna be 3 times already. Kuminga's already looking like not only just a defensive force, his release and just overall his shooting mechanics are looking a lot cleaner. Moses Moody's a bucket, and yeah, I think the one disappointing person is probably what a lot of people are gonna say, Jabari Smith Jr. Uh, there are times where it looks like he doesn't know how to dribble the basketball, and I think he's kind of I don't know the actual if there's an actual term, but I'll call it kind of like early pick syndrome, where the fact that he was one of the top picks, he's forcing a lot of his offense. I mean, that's how you get. I think it was 2 for 19. He had a really bad shooting game in his first game, but uh, yeah. Overall, a lot of guys are showing some nice progress. A lot of guys are maybe showing not so much progress. But again, it's the summer league. I mean, here's a quick trivia. Do you guys know who has the record for the most points in a summer league game?
Nick Young.
Is it Nate Robinson?
No, I'll give you a hint. The Warrior.
Oh, Zaza
Is it?
Pachulia.
Good guess. Good guess. Is it Monte?
No, kind of that era though. I think. Pretty sure.
Even Jax?
No.
No. It was Warrior 8, so it must
Yeah.
have been Harrison Barnes.
You're in the right era though. Kind of like the We Believe.
Damn, who was there?
Navy and orange.
Jason Richardson?
No.
Yeah, those are all my guesses were probably what Ruben just said, to be honest.
Okay. The 2K legend. Because I remember he was like the lowest rated dude in the entire game at one point. It's Anthony Morrow. He had 47.
Oh,
So-
Jesus, Anthony Morrow. Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
exactly.
Yeah,
I was never
getting that.
And the most recent highest point total was Furkan Korkmaz, who had a 40 piece, and we all know how that dude is now. So I think that just explains
We all
that.
know how that dude is.
As much as, summer league's cool to watch, basketball is basketball in a sense, it's also not. Because again, these are guys who the whole picture of it is imagining you're auditioning for the CEO, but ball is ball. I'm gonna watch it. And yeah, so with that, get into the real deal of this podcast. So we have done a couple drafts. Well, we have. The only one you guys have seen if you're watching this is we've done one because first one we are not we I kind of fucked up the recording, but that's neither here nor there. So we are going to have the first annual all underrated draft. Now, when you think of the word underrated, you're not thinking of guys like Steph Curry, LeBron, Giannis. That's an all-time draft. When you think of the all underrated draft, you're thinking about guys like Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant's pretty underrated. Jason Williams, White Chocolate. Jakob Pertl, guy that I think a lot of teams would love to have on their team, but still, because he hasn't been in a playoff situation, doesn't necessarily get the credit he deserves. Here's another throwback. David Lee, sort of the four before Draymond Green and Golden State. So, what we are going to do is, let me share this here. Here, boom.
With the first pick in the 2022 underrated draft, Ruben Dungallen selects Nemanja Bjelica.
Okay,
What a
let
pick!
me.
That guy is a great player.
My bad. We probably should have done this before, but okay.
Damn,
We'll
DJ,
go
look at
through
this. Look at these.
Hey. 5, 6, 7, 8.
What happens if we put a P in your search bar?
Oh, what if you put a POR?
Okay, so
Hey.
you guys will be able to see it, aka Christian and Ruben. Y'all watching the pod, if you're on the video version, will probably not because Discord's weird like that. We will say number 1 is Ruben, number 2 is Christian, and number 3 is me. So here, I'll just click this a bunch. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, 2. I think that's Christian, right? Okay, so Christian has the first pick.
Wow, that's freaking rigged.
Oh,
That's rigged.
that's Christian gets 2 picks in a row. Okay, I have the second pick. Ruben, you have the third
Man,
pick.
that's rigged, dog.
No. Okay.
All right, are we going to snake draft though, right?
Yeah, on the real.
Yes, sir.
The third pick is high key the pick to have here.
This pick is the best pick right now, I'm not
Third
gonna
pick is
lie.
the best pick. Oh god.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, so just to give y'all some of the rundown of it, so we're going snake style. What that means is if you have the third pick, you have the first pick of the second round, and so on and so forth. We have 45 seconds on the clock. Let me start this up here.
All you need to know is I'm drafting Nemanja Bjelica, number 1.
Hey, EuroLeague MVP, baby. Ruben.
I'm just kidding.
3,
Just
2,
kidding.
1, go.
Sweet.
Do you have...
Oh, I got a pick? I'm on the clock?
Oh yeah, whoever's on the clock, my bad.
Oh, my bad. Alright. Do I just announce it? Do I gotta give my rationale?
You can announce it, and then you can do your rationale.
Alright. With the first pick in the all underrated draft, Christian Pogi Pagal versus Monte Ellis.
Oh, wow. I was not expecting that one.
All right, what's the rationale?
So, I mean, people forget Monte Ellis was like pretty much like, a trade away, or I guess like a I guess what is the word, a timeline away, or in a different timeline, he was the Steph Curry, and
Actual.
Steph Curry was the whoever
He
that
was Steph Curry without the shot.
he was Steph Curry without the shot, and in his best years, he was averaging like 25 points per game. Like this guy was like
He was
like
one of the most explosive scorers in the league.
yeah, for sure, and
Fox legend.
he's definitely like to this day so well regarded in like the Warriors community as one of the best point guards there. Obviously not the best, but yeah, I mean we believe Warriors. That's it.
I
Nice,
respect
good
that.
pick.
Okay. That's a nice pick. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, I'm gonna start my thing. Let's a lot of guys on this list. You know what? I'm gonna go another sort of you can kind of see it. So with the second overall pick of the all underrated draft, I am drafting Turkey's finest, Hedo Turkoglu. Now, I've been watching a lot of hey, listen here. Y'all know the podcast Forgotten Seasons? Well, if you don't, you should listen to it. Uh People tend to forget Hedo Turkoglu was initiating the offense there. So I got my point forward here. You know, about 6'8", 6'9". Yeah, no, Hedo Turkoglu, 40%, 38% career 3-point shooter. You know, might be running my one, you might be running my three. You never know. Hey, Ruben, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so I've got two picks. The first pick that I'm going with, known best for his elbow pass, white chocolate, Jason Williams. He's so fire. Such an underrated point guard. I mean, did he ever make the All-Star game?
I don't think so. I'll
Well,
keep going. I'll
he's
confirm.
widely regarded as one of the top point guards of all time, in the sense of everywhere he's been, he's always been a solid guard. Um, he did win the championship with Miami in 2006, right? So he's a championship player. Uh, he's been an impact player everywhere he's been, whether that's been in Sacramento or in Miami. So there you go. That's the first pick. I'll go straight to my second pick. How could you forget the Grindhouse? This guy is a multiple time All Star. He's an underrated All Star. Zach Zebo Randolph.
I think that's a good pick.
I mean, is there anything that needs to be said about Zebo?
Oh,
I mean, Zebo Zebo is a legend.
was that guy? Brady, take us back to me. Okay, so with my second overall pick, I'm going to draft a man with quite the Duffy, underrated Duffy. He's a big reason why the Pelicans were able to turn their season around. I am selecting CJ McConnell. Or McCollum. Not TJ McCollum.
Who you want? TJ McConnell? That's who you want?
Hell no! Give me CJ McCollum out of Lehigh. Man was 5'11" in like grade 8 or 9, grew to like 6 feet or whatever, or like 5'5" or whatever. Yeah, CJ McCollum. He's a guy that would definitely have a few All Stars if he didn't spend his first portion of his career in Portland. But now we see he's the vet on a very young, potentially contending Pelicans team, and it's a bucket. All right, let me swing this over to Christian. So you have two back-to-back picks. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so with my second pick in the all underrated draft, I select. Oh fuck you, man! I'd like look at my list, but I actually don't know. I don't know who I want to fill it out with first. I will select Jamal Murray, just so he is on my team and not on your guys' list.
You asswipe. He was gonna be my next pick too.
Yeah, Jamal Murray. Yeah, he's literally, I think, in my opinion, when it's all said and done, he might be the best guard on this list. It's possible. It's very possible.
Ooh, that is a very, very, very hot take because there are actually some pretty good guards on this list.
There are.
Corey Joseph.
Hey man, don't hate on the champion. Don't hate on the Raptor legend.
Wait, he was on the Raptors when they won?
No, No, but he was there. He was there from I want to say what's 2016 to 2018.
Did he get a ring? He did, right?
No way.
No,
Or no,
No.
he,
So
no,
no,
he's
like,
no. He was traded the year after.
oh, okay.
which is like Demar.
Yeah,
Right.
he got a ring in San Antonio.
Oh yeah, true. He was there before. How about that?
Sorry, Christian.
Get a cup of
No
tea.
worries. All right, and with my third pick, I select Serge Ibaka.
Champion.
What I will say about this man, I feel like he's lived two primes. I mean, he's had his his prime years with OKC, where he was well regarded as one of the better defensive players in the league, and when he won the ring, obviously with the Raptors, he was like probably in like the best stretch for, or at least in terms of the way the role was played, the best stretch for in the league during that year. He pretty much knew how to play his role. He, what else can I say? This guy's Mafuzzi. What does he say? Fuck.
My fuzzy chef.
Fuzzy chef.
Fuzzy chef.
Mafuzzi chef, yo.
I don't do food. I do art.
I don't do food, OG. I do art.
Yeah, that's me.
Like that. Okay. For me, I definitely need a big man this round. I'm going to go with the man that would have been Defensive Player of the Year had he not gotten hurt, Robert Williams III. Now, the thing with Robert Williams III is that I think people just regard him as the shot blocker and the lob catcher on the Celtics, but he's much more than that. I mean, I remember a game where he had a triple double. Now, I'm not saying he's going to do that on my team, but him being the big man, being able to post up people, being able to guard multiple positions, catch lobs, as well as make plays out the post. So let me get the Time Lord, Texas A&M's finest, which is also the home of another great player, Chris Middleton. He's not on this list because he's not underrated. But Robert Williams III will also be a multiple-time All-Star. Sending it to you, Ruben. 2 picks. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So my first pick on this back-to-back. I'm going 2 wings here. Number 1. You know him from the Utah Jazz from his days with Darren Williams and Carlos Boozer. AK-47. The defensive mastermind. The 3-and-D. The European legend, Andre Kerlito.
Mr. 5x5.
He was a one-time All-Star. I'm trying to get all these All-Stars off the board, you know what I'm saying? And my second my back-to-back pick here is another first-time All-Star. He is the Bucks legend, Michael Red. 3-point savant. Thank you very much.
Dog. Respect that. Okay, for me, I think I'm definitely also going to grab a wing here. Oh. I am going to grab another legend in his own right. Guy who played with Hito Turkoglu. Guy who's a Seattle legend, Orlando legend. Mr. Rashard Lewis. A guy who was definitely before his time.
Good pick.
Was 6'8", could stretch the floor. Wasn't really able to bang as much as you would want your power forward to do, but he's that guy. He can stretch my floor. He can do multiple things. He's that dude. Right, sending it to you, Christian. 2 picks. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so now I had to go with I would say maybe the podcast favorite player of all time. The most dominant center in the league in years to come, Miles Turner.
our favorite guy, yo.
That's a real shit. That's a podcast legend.
He's actually a podcast legend.
Hey, man, I beat all y'all with him.
And with
I still remember that conversation, man.
That was bad. But yo, this guy honestly, in real talk, he has the makings and kind of the engineering of a player that could really, be the best center in the league if he were to, refine his game that much more. He's really on the come up, in my opinion. And he's the best player in the league. With my next pick, I will be selecting Danny Granger.
Nice.
I was
good
literally going to
pick.
pick him next. That's a good pick.
Good pick.
Honestly, another what could have been an absolute dog. beside Paul George in his Pacer years. And, really just a 100% bucket.
Izzy. Okay. Or my how many picks have we done? It was my fifth pick, rounding out my. I'm going to pick a Raptors legend. This is a guy who's just as good as Jaylen Brown, but just doesn't get the same attention. Britain's very own OG Anunoby. I mean, what is there to be said about that? Shown the ability to handle the rock and improved handle and stretches the floor like literally could be a DPOY, in my opinion. I'm sure Ruben would love to see that. OG Anunoby, that dude. All right, sending it over to you, Rube. 3, 2, 1, go.
I got 2 back-to-back picks here, right? Dude, my mouse isn't working right now. This is so annoying.
Hey, that could happen in the war room. Who you pick?
It could happen in the war room. All right. Wow, this is a tough one. All right, so I'm gonna need a guard and another big here to even out my lineup because I got 2 wings, 1 guard, and a center right now, and a big. So I will go with another defensive player of the year and an all-star from the past, Tyson Chandler. I like my guy, Tyson Chandler. You know,
Surprised he only has one All Star.
surprisingly, right?
Yeah, I feel like. Well, I feel like because it's 2012 and you just remember All Star, DPOY, and Olympics all in the same year, kind of make
That was a special year.
you.
And then my following pick, I said I was gonna go a guard. Actually, you know what? I will go a guard. I'm gonna go with a Bucks champion, a former All-Star, Drew Holiday.
Very nice. He's a guy who I think will definitely get his jersey retired, even though he's only played there for.
I'm liking my team, man. I'm really loving my team right now.
No doubt. I think if there's a underrated poster boy, Drew Holiday's the man. But that's all biases set aside. The most underrated player of all time.
Listen, the NBA guys talk about him all the time. That he doesn't get talked enough about how good he is defensively, how much of a dog he is on the offensive end. He's got a bag, doesn't get to show enough of it. I mean, do you guys remember that play against Denver where I think it was he spun and put it through his legs and he got to the cup? It was such a beautiful play. I'll send you guys that one afterwards, but it was just a beautiful sequence against Denver. The dude has got a freaking bag, man.
Forever a part of Bucks history. 2 of the biggest plays. Dealing off Chris Paul in Game 5 and Alvin, to be honest. No, he was. Yeah, no, that was the whole play. But yeah, love that man. Okay. For me, I'm going to select a guy who I had a hot take about before. You guys remember. I said Mr. Gay crossover himself, Jamal Crawford, would be a superstar if he was in. I mean, not much to say here. Dude's probably got the deepest bag based on the fact that he said like he didn't even show his best shit. So, I mean, what more is there to say about Jamal Crawford? That guy. All right. Sending it to you, Christian. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so I got 2 picks here as well. I think just to fill out my Bigs rotation, gonna go with. God, every time it actually gets me, I pause. Gonna go with Clint Capella. Feel like he's just going to be a solid player off the bench. I mean, he'll definitely be like dominant with any of those bigger guys. And then my next pick will be Gordon Hayward. I mean, in his best years, he was definitely well regarded as an up and coming player in the league. You know, injuries did riddle him from what could have been maybe a better prime, but there's a reason why people were saying it was broken when he went to the Celtics.
He's an all-star player too in his prime. Made the
Yes.
all-star game.
Okay, so I
Good
had
picks.
Clint Capella on my list, but I'm gonna go with this next guy. The guy that has a chance to have a really good year this year because he's gonna play with Luca, Christian Wood. Give me that man.
Forgot he was on this list.
Hey, guaranteed 20 and 10 a night when he wants to. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I think he's another sort of podcast favorite in a way because I mean, we're all kind of cheering for that man. Bucks legend, Pistons legend, Rockets legend, and yeah, I think he has a chance to. I think if there's one player who will be like a super super big sleeper for potential first time All Star, I think he's on that list.
Dallas is looking good this year. Eh? Their
Mm.
free agency period. I mean, they couldn't retain Jalen Brunson, but
Fuck
you
that
pick
man.
up
They got
Christian
Jaden
Wood and
Hardy.
Jaden Hardy, Christian Wood, and JaVale McGee.
Jaden Hardy's gonna get his 30 points on 35 shots.
That was a good pick.
All right, Ruben, on to you, buddy.
All right, this first pick is going to be an easy one. I'm going to take another former All Star, longest contract in NBA history, Luol Deng.
Oh, they like just got off his money. Hey, the
Yeah,
Lakers.
they just got off his money. They just got off his money. So that's like Luol Deng. That's a former All Star.
Okay.
I mean, how many All Stars did he make? He had two actually. He was an
He
All Rookie team and an All Defensive team too.
went to war with Miami all those years.
Yeah,
Obviously, a part of one of the biggest what if teams. Dog.
great mid-range game. Could hit the three, could post it up and turn around, could defend multiple positions. He was great.
He
So the
was
next pick
like
for
six
me
nine,
is
wasn't he?
yeah, 6'9". Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, the next pick for me is a little bit tough. Nemanja? No, I'm just kidding. Um, man, this is a rough one. This will be a bit hard for me. Maybe I'll just clear the wings. Actually, you know what? Here, I will go with. Gotta make sure I have 45 seconds, don't I? Where am I? All right. I'm gonna go with the greatest six man of all time. Now it depends who you think that might be, but I will go with who I believe is the greatest six man of all time, Jamal Crawford.
I picked Jamal Crawford, bro.
Hey, Lou Williams has got three different teams.
Oh, you said Jamal Crawford though. Okay. You picked Lou Will?
No, I picked Jamal Crawford. I picked Jamal Crawford. I think he's still the
Because
best.
I picked Jamal Crawford, bro.
Oh, you did? You did? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Oh, my bad. My bad. Oh, you did?
Yeah. So you want six
Oh,
man
you
like Lou
did.
Will?
Okay, sorry. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, no, I'll have to take that back then. My bad. I wasn't paying attention there. Oh man, I'm almost up on this pick, aren't I?
All good.
It's always near the end of the draft is where it's tougher. I don't know if I want Lou Williams. Not yet, at least. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go with one of the most explosive scorers, a guy who's also in the Monte Ellis realm, Ben Gordon.
Ben Gordon. Dog. Good pick. Good pick. Those are your two picks, right?
Yeah, Ben Gordon and Luol Deng. So two
Okay,
former Bulls.
solid. All right. Winging it back to. Oh, let's see here. Who looking at this list? A lot of in betweeners. I will.
Yep.
Could be your wing. Could be a guard. One guy who I think is a certified wing though, and the guy that I think has potential to be better if he was on another team. It's maybe Mikal Bridges, man.
Nice.
EPOY finalist. Was he first team all defense this year? Had to have been, right?
Yeah, I think he was.
He's gonna lock everybody up. Except maybe Zebo, because he's just gonna body him. Right.
Yeah, he was all defensive this year. First team.
He picks.
I've got two more picks. I think
Hmm.
Chin's got two more picks too, right?
I think he is.
I got three more.
They got three more. Okay.
Yeah, I think this year guys is last one of two, and then yeah. Of course, yeah. Sorry, Christian, go ahead.
Oh right, yes. Okay. Um I just had someone in mind and then totally messed up.
By Lawson, right?
Nah. I think I'm gonna go with another podcast favorite, if you do say so myself. A new Boston Celtics player as of recent, Malcolm Brogdon.
Malcolm Brogdon.
50, 40, 90.
50, 40, 90, rookie of the year.
Gonna
This
play
guy,
50 games.
God, this is a 1-game championship, anyways, or whatever, 3-game round robin, whatever. And then with my next pick, I will be selecting John Collins.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good pick.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, if it wasn't for such a tough kind of position to play in the modern NBA world right now, definitely be an all-star. Yeah.
I really hope that just a little sidebar. I hope the Hawks kind of keep what they have right now. Honestly, I think the way it's structured, you have John Collins as your lob threat and a guy who can also shoot. Yeah, at the same time though, well, fuck, I was gonna say if you can get Rudy, but obviously that's out the window. But yeah, no, John Collins.
He's that
Okay,
guy.
undies. Alrighty, looking at this board here. What? I'm gonna pick one of the newest members of Portland Trailblazers. Guy that comes from some good NBA stock that's produced the likes of Horace Grant. I don't remember his brother's name, this guy's like the nephew or whatever, but give me Jeremy Grant. Olympian, has the ability to guard multiple positions, nice 3-and-D wing, of all of that. Ruben. Head bro.
I know I've got 2 picks here. My first pick's easy one. I'm going to fill out my big rotation with a 2-time NBA champion, a 2-time NBA All-Star with the Indiana Pacers, David West. So
Right,
I
and
feel really good about my
this is
big
your last
rotation.
pick, I believe, right?
It is my last pick. So I really like where I'm going. I've got some really good offense between Drew Holiday, Jason Williams, Ben Gordon, Michael Redd, Luol Deng. Got some defensive players, Tyson Chandler, David West, AK-47, Drew. I need someone to fill it out. I just need someone who, if we really need a bucket, we need a bucket. We need some craziness on the team. Man, you got to go with him. You got to go with him. He's a former 6th man of the year. Forgot all about the shot clock. New York Knicks legend. But that boy can score with the best of them. Give me my dog. 4.0 GPA. J.R. Smith.
That's the best part of the 4.0. Hey, as long as he's not in your closing lineup, I think you're good.
Hey, man, I might put him on there just so he can drop 40 on your head top.
Respect. Okay. I think this is my last pick, right?
Boy, did I forget J.R. Smith is 2-time NBA champion too, Cleveland and the Lakers.
Oh wait, this is my last pick. Okay. Well, looking at my pick, I got some nice versatility, I think. A bunch of guys who can guard multiple positions. And I think we might stay that way. Or, you know what? Actually, no. Give me a guy that, in my opinion, if the Lakers traded for this guy, they would have been in the playoffs. And guy who has a chance to, or not has a chance to, let me say this. When you look at his draft class, you don't expect him to be near the top of the list, but he's near the top of the list. Give me Bahamas' finest, the second greatest shooter in the league right now next to Stephen Curry. As I know that's debatable, but give me Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield to end up. Christian, you're the final pick of the all underrated draft. Who are you picking?
All right. I have no idea.
Mani
But
Bielitsa.
what I will say is that there is still a lot of good players here. if I had to look at my list and kind of decide how I want to go about this, I think I would want to fill it out with just another banger of a player, someone who is shown longevity through the league and is underrated for it, and has had some seasons where really he's been one of the best players in the league. So you gotta give me Rudy Gay.
Yay, man.
Rudy Bakwa.
Best best jump shot in
I
2K.
was about to say, smoothest
Facts.
jumper to ever exist.
Bro, that 6 months he spent in Toronto were special.
Was it only 6? Yo, you know how? You know
Dude.
why it's special? Because I felt like he was there for fucking ever, yo.
Yeah, and then he got traded for Davis Vasquez, and then they made to the playoffs.
Man, he was Vasquez. That's another guy. Holy, hey, Steve Novak.
Oh,
You remember that,
yeah.
man?
Dude, yeah. Yeah, I want to know you guys' starting lineups right now.
Okay. You know what? Let's give each other a few minutes. I'll cut it here, and when we come back, you guys can announce your starting lineups and kind of your little game plan. Alrighty, y'all. So we have gone on our own little lonesome and constructed our lineup. So let's go in the order of how the draft went. Christian, present your lineup, and if you want to give a little spiel of how you're gonna run the offense, if you want to go triangle, whatever. But yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I'll start with my starting five. At the 1, we got Monte Ellis. At the 2, we got Malcolm Brogdon. At the 3, we got Danny Granger. At the 4, we got Serge Ibaka. And at the 5, we got Miles Turner.
Ooh.
And then for my sixth man, we got Jamal Murray. Y'all hear that? Jamal Murray as your sixth man?
Oh, actually, that's pretty dirty.
That's a
That's
nasty
pretty
lineup.
freaking dirty.
And just to round out the rotation as a alternative 5 or the bench, we got Gordon Hayward at the 2, Rudy Gay at the 3, John Collins at the 4, and Clint Capella at the 5.
That's pretty
So
dirty.
I think the way I constructed my team was really to be like kind of built around Monte Ellis, just because he really is like someone who gets his bucket pretty much any 2-point range. So whether it be the lay, the dunk, the mid range, that's kind of his game. But then everyone around him, Malcolm Brogdon, Danny Granger, Serge Ibaka, and Miles Turner, are all positive, like overly positive 3-point shooters, and so kind of like it's kind of like if you imagine the Bucks today, except the point guard is Giannis. Like, and I mean that kind of is how it works. But I do think like in this kind of scenario, you also got players who are like kind of outstanding defenders who are like kind of elusive around the perimeter as well. And then, I mean, Jamal Murray kind of coming off the bench is kind of stupid, but I thought it would just round out the play a bit better. He would absolutely destroy anyone else's bench unit. I mean, not your guys's, but I mean, let's be real. Yeah, I don't know. And then yeah.
If Jamal Murray is your sixth man on the NBA roster,
That's tough.
that must. Whew,
Yeah.
fully
That's
loaded.
tough. That's a tough team.
That's nice. Okay, for me, so I'm going not really positionless, but it's not the classic guard, forward, center. So at my starting guard, DJ McCollum, as I said, he was able to really have this Pelicans team hunker down, get their shit together, and now he's going to be somewhat running my ship. At my other, for I guess for lack of commonality, my other quote unquote guard spot, give me Mikal Bridges. 3 and D wing, one of the best in the league right now. I mean, there's not much to say. Could have been a DPOY. He's a finalist, and I think he'll be in that conversation. Now, at a guy that I will have primarily be defending the wings just for his size, OG Anunoby, Raptors legend, Indiana's finest, or that's what we went to school for. At the 4, I gotta give one of my throwback guys here some love. Rashard Lewis. Again, he's a guy who was before his time. If he's one of the not poster childs, but I think just in regards to
shoot like this.
Hey, that shit went in though. That's all that matters. At least he's not Michael Kidd Gilchrist. That's by far, that's got to be one of the worst, if not the worst. And at the center, Time Lord doesn't get much better than that. 6'8", which in my opinion, hot take, I think 6'8" is like the perfect basketball height. You're not too tall, you're not too short. You can defend multiple positions, and Robert Williams III is a perfect example of that. We've seen him switch on to guards. We've seen him switch on to wings, to bigs. He's been able to do it all. Yeah, the sixth man. I mean, is there really any other choice than the greatest six man of all time? A legend, a guy who, if you were to ask other NBA players, and if the Hall of Fame only went by player opinion, I think he'd be in the Hall. Jamal Crawford. Dog. Big crossover. Not the first guy to come out of Seattle, but when you think of guys who come from that area, it's on the list. I mean, we could ring off the names here till tomorrow. But, heading from there, the guys can get in where they fit in. Buddy Hield's gonna come here and shoot the ball whenever he's free. Ito Turkoglu, be able to initiate the offense somewhat. He won't play too many minutes just because I'm not gonna lie, I regret taking him with my first pick, but is what it is. As long as he's attentive on the defensive end. I know that's not his calling card, but as long as he's attentive. Christian Wood's gonna shoot a lot of threes, gonna get a lot of blocks. What's on his here? Jeremy Grant, he can play wherever except maybe the 5. And yeah, overall, I love my team. Except maybe the fact that I picked Ito Turkoglu with the first pick. But aside from that, love my team. Winning the chip. All right, Rube, go ahead.
All right, I love my team because I can play old school back to the basket, a lot of toughness, a lot of old fashioned play. I can play positionless basketball. I can play small if I really want to. But my starting lineup will be Jason Williams at the 1, Drew Holiday at the 2, Luol Deng at the 3, Andre Kirilenko at the 4, and Tyson Chandler at the 5. I initially had Michael Redd in at the starting shooting guard, but the reason why I put Jason Williams in at the starting lineup because we have two really solid scorers in Drew Holiday and Luol Deng. They can get their offense. Andre Kirilenko is also well known to be a guy who can hit big shots, can get his offense off the offensive boards, can post up as well. But I really like the connection between Jason Williams and Tyson Chandler in the screen and roll. Tyson Chandler is one of the best at rim finishers and in the screen and roll. I mean, we've seen it for years with Jason Kidd and in New York and all of that. So we've seen a lot of success in the screen and roll. And Jason Williams is as creative there is in terms of a guard in that situation. And I like my ability to defend multiple positions between Drew Holiday, Luol Deng, Andre Kirilenko, and Tyson Chandler. My sixth man off the bench is going to be Michael Redd because I mean he's well known for his scoring prowess and his ability to shoot the three ball. I mean he's a career 38% 3-point shooter and he's a Bucks legend, right? So, but I like the fact that I can go purely offense with guys like Ben Gordon, J.R. Smith. I can go super tough and knock you on your ass with Zach Randolph and David West and Tyson Chandler. So I like my team. It's very defensive minded, but it's all fit together because all these guys play really well. They can move the ball. There's going to be a lot of assists on this team. I think they're going to be able to get a lot of easy baskets. I think they're going to run in transition when you have Jason Williams, Drew Holiday. You got an athlete like J.R. Smith out there. You can catch lobs. Tyson Chandler, same thing. Karolinko is well known for that too. So I like my team. I think we're my team is the definition of today's brand of basketball, which is positionless, play small, you can play big, old fashioned, spread the floor, or we can go back to the '90s and start knocking people on their ass.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think all of our teams kind of fit positionless because I mean,
Yeah,
the shortest
all of ours.
player
Yeah,
that was took was maybe how tall was Jason Williams?
I think he was 6'1".
He's probably the smallest guy, even then. But
Yeah, he can't be 6'1". See, yeah, he's a 6'1" guard.
oh,
6'1" guard. Yeah.
when OG Ananobi's taking his ass on the block,
I don't know about that, man.
free
Tyson
cheese.
Chandler's gonna come over for the help side.
That's a very true possibility. Alrighty, y'all.
We
That was
gotta
a
run
lot of
it on
fun.
2K.
Yeah, Hundies. We have to run this on 2K. We will definitely run that on 2K before the summer ends. Blacktop Podcast guarantees you guys a nice little thing to separate us from the podcast, so you can kind of hear us talk more shit than sometimes that we already do on this podcast. Because I feel like we're all very like minded in the sense that, you know, none of us really. Well, obviously there are like little differences here and there, but for the most part, I think we're all fairly like on the same page when it comes to the fact that Miles Turner is the greatest center to ever touch the basketball court. But with that being said, this has been another episode of the Blacktop Podcast. Boys, you have any closing thoughts?
Nothing much, man. Nothing for me other than stay safe, have a happy summer, and hags.
Hags for sure. Enjoy summer league while it lasts. You know, because I know those guys are. Because this might be some of the only NBA basketball they play. Nah, fuck, that is so mean. But with that being said, enjoy summer league. You know, it is not the last basketball, but actually, yeah, it's kind of the last bit of basketball before the start of the new season really starts. Or, you know, you could call it invite, whatever. But with that being said, stay safe, stay blessed. We'll see y'all soon.
Back shots, back shots. Oh,
Uh, 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 uh.